Lewis Hamilton's a big fan favourite with no Brazilian driver until this year with Gabriel Bortoleto. Lewis has always been a fan favourite here just because it's Lewis Hamilton, but also for his love and respect for Ayrton Senna, his idol, who he's been very, very outspoken about how much he influenced him as a driver for his entire career. Lewis made a bit of a mistake this weekend in the Grand Prix. Is this another sign that Lewis Hamilton is kind of dropping off that cliff, unfortunately, that a lot of athletes have? And when I say dropping off the cliff, I mean the cliff of being superstar. I don't mean the cliff of he's not very good anymore. Just that kind of mistake I don't feel Lewis Hamilton would have made in his prime.
Yeah, I mean, Lewis Hamilton still performing at a very high level. It's easy for people to run with things that we say, and we don't think he's washed. We don't think he's washed because he's still.
Well, one of the questions earlier this season is Lewis Hamilton washed?
Yeah, I know.
I think we decided
he wasn't washed. He wasn't washed. But anyway, he's pretty close to Charles Leclerc. In his 40s, and he's not far off Charles Leclerc, especially in the races. But this weekend, another example. I've spoken about it with Lando Norris a moment ago. We've spoken about it a number of times with Max Verstappen. The difference between a good Formula One driver and a great Formula One driver is not their highs, but their lows and their weekends, the mistakes they make. You look at Max Verstappen in 23, only not winning one race or whatever it was, or not, Red Bull not winning one race. He won all but 3. That's the level you have to be at. That's whatever it was, 19 weekends where he didn't make a mistake. Lewis Hamilton was doing that when he was in Mercedes. He was metronomic. It was win second or third, basically no worse most of the time. Podium every weekend. His podium percentage was way over 50%.
We'll get back to this video in just a second, but first I want to talk to you about this. This is the Nextbase Pico, and this will keep you and other people safe on the roads this festive period. It's a connected compact dash cam which will record every single journey you make in high definition, and they've got a cheeky little offer going on at the moment which I think you will like. Now, we know what people are like on the roads. We've all been driving to see friends and family and got cut up by someone, and maybe you're going to a racetrack and you're going to go and watch the professionals do it, and there's probably a lot of professionals not out there on the motorways of the UK. Well, look, this will record everything in high definition, sharp detail. There is a 1K and a 2K version, so whatever happens, it means you've got evidence for whatever goes on the roads. It's not just about the footage though. The Pico's packed with smart safety features that every driver needs, and of course it's from the UK's leading dashcam brand, which was recently crowned Trusted Review's best dashcam of 2025. It's super compact. Even I can install it and you won't even notice it on your windscreen. Now pair it with the Nextbase app, set it up, control it from there. It couldn't be simpler for you. There's even a smart parking feature that keeps an eye on your car while you're away, automatically recording if it detects any movement or impact. And trust me, my car just got hit by something in the wind and I'm livid because I didn't have a dash cam installed. Now, if the worst does happen, the emergency SOS system can alert emergency services and share your exact location to help you get help faster. And with Witness Mode Lite, you can quickly alert a friend or family member if you feel unsafe on the road, which is definitely something I reckon parents should be thinking about. And with prices starting at under £100, it's pretty obvious that this would make a fantastic stocking filler this festive period. And actually, you can save yourself 40 quid because between the 6th of November and the 3rd of December, you will get that amount off, making this £59 for the 1K version, which means you could probably put that 40 quid towards going and watching some UK racing. Loads of winter racing going on, which I'm sure you'll have a great time at. You could also treat your family to a meal, but let's face it, just look after yourself. So protect your journeys with confidence this festive season. Visit the Nextbase website for more information, and also pop into Halfords, Argos, Currys and other retailers today. Stay safe, stay connected and enjoy the road ahead.
Was this, nowadays he's clearly not just gelled with things and either it's confidence or the way the car feels or the procedures or maybe age or who knows. But you're absolutely right. I completely agree with you. That mistake where he's just clipping the back of another car, that's a mistake you'd expect to see from the likes of a rookie maybe.
It's also an Alpine. Like, no disrespect to Alpine, they're not the quickest car. So he's overtaking a car that he should have the car and the pace to overtake without any issues, and he's making a silly mistake and clipping the back of Colapinto's car. And that's Lewis Hamilton's race done. And I mean, he must be disappointed. I know he's sort of said some things about, being very disappointed with how this has gone this year.
Said it was a nightmare. Said it was a nightmare in his post-race interview.
For Lewis, who is someone who's very, not guarded, but very cautious with his words, to say a nightmare kind of says a lot. It kind of says he's not having a good time at the moment. And I saw actually Angela, his I don't know what her job title is, but she's it's like
Performance coach,
personal trainer, performance coach, and she was in the paddock, and she's normally all smiles, and there wasn't smiles from her. She looked kind of a little bit on edge, and this is before the Grand Prix had even started. So not a good time for Lewis Hamilton, but his star here is still shining very brightly, seeing how many supporters here are supporting Lewis. And you might have seen his helmet that he kind of just changed. He's got his yellow helmet anyway, but he kind of changed it to incorporate the Brazilian flag colours. And, he will be a legend here. And I'm sure when he's retired, he'll come back to Brazil and everyone will adore him as much, if not more, as they do already. Before we get on to the Oscar Piastri incident, there was a Yuki Tsunoda incident. This all came after the restart. It was actually just after the Oscar Piastri incident. Another driver who said he's had a terrible weekend. Yuki basically suggested it was his worst weekend in Formula One ever. And it wasn't great, was it? Because there were jokes at the start of the weekend when Max Verstappen sort of qualified, when he went out in Q1, that Yuki finally got within so many tenths of Max, because obviously Max had kind of had a bit of a stinker and dropped down, and it's not the positive headline that it sounded like. But for him, another incident where he went into Lance Stroll, he can't seem to get anything out of that car, can he?
I mean, he was last of the drivers in the race that actually finished on the lead lap. In fact, he was last, nearly a lap down. And the clumsy error which caused the penalty, you watched on board and he tried to go up the inside of one driver. I think it was it Ocon? I can't remember at the time. But nearly lost control of the car. Thought he had it recontrolled and then bumped into the back of Stroll. It just screams to me of desperation. Like, he feels, I need to do something. I need to move forward. Otherwise, I'm under the spotlight again. I need to make progress, because also he's in the back of his mind. He'll know that Max Verstappen will have been making progress in exactly the same car. Asterisk for, different setup, new engine. So we'll give him a little bit of slack there, but still. Yeah, absolutely. Not fast, clumsy, errors, penalty. I would be surprised to see Yuki in that car next year. Very surprised, and I will be surprised to see him on the grid next year, because that Red Bull system, you get pushed up and then you fall off the top. You don't tend to drop back down unless you're Liam Lawson or Daniel Kvyat or someone other people. But it doesn't give him again, talking myself out of my own point, but you get my point. He's not got anywhere to go, has he, really? Unless the rumours are true that he might come back in the future with Honda, but I don't know.
But given we are privy to information that suggests that Yuki Tsunoda doesn't have a future at the Red Bull team and in either team, and we're also privy to the information of young drivers like Arvid Lindblad probably maybe already have signed a deal to race next year for Racing Bulls, that's surely going to get through to Yuki Tsunoda. He's not an idiot. His advisors, his management aren't idiots. So maybe that's why he's making these desperate moves, because he's so desperate to prove that he has got it, because we have seen nice, decent moments from him, but just not recently.
And not consistently enough. I think, was it last weekend or the weekend before, when he had a decent weekend and we were like, look, this is better from Yuki. It was last weekend, wasn't it, in Mexico?
It was the last one in Mexico,
yeah. Yeah. When you get 10th, it's not exactly ideal, isn't it? But
well, you said to me, calling it a decent weekend when he's like that far down tells you how bad his season's been. And
this is my point exactly. Yeah, this is my point exactly. Like, every now and again, we're like, if he continues and if he can consolidate here inside the top 10 and push forward, there's an argument. But when that is the height of his performance, it's not good enough for a Red Bull seat.